Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens, UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
R&R Racewear, your source to all custom racewear apparel needs, and home to iRacing apparel. Check it out today at rnrracewear.com.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets trembling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land under the praise
What's going on, guys and girls? How are you? Repeat back with you, and as always, got the one and only KS Gaming 51 SWAT in the booth. SWAT, it is All-Star Night live from North Wilkesboro, and I got the format up on screen, buddy. Man, we're talking heats, we're talking consolation race, we're talking the feature, we're talking stage racing, and man, it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Welcome back one more time. Good to see you, as always. How are you, bud?
What's going on, Pete? What's going on, everybody out there? Yeah, it's All-Star Night, Pete. It's going to be a wild one. We've got all kinds of different situational things that can really help you or really hurt you in this All-Star race format with 5-lap features or heat races to be able to get in. And then we've got that 20-lap shootout for the consolation, and then the 80-lap run with stage breaks in the final race. So it's going to be an exciting night. I can't wait to see who comes out of each one of these heats. It's like watching the Coliseum in real life at NASCAR to see who makes it through and what positions they get.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I mean, you think about the heats. Everybody wants to go ahead and grab the top spot for the heats, and then the consolation drivers, they got to do their thing to make sure that they can work their way into the main. Now, even though the main says it's going to be 90 laps, it's actually just going to be 80 laps, and the stage breaks are also going to be just a little bit shorter either. I think it's like 25, and 30, something like that. So everything is going to get down, get dirty, get fast real quick. The guys and girls are already out there on track, knocking out a few qualifying attempts while under this warm-up session. And listening to these trucks really just blare around this very short track in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. It's good to see North Wilkesboro back on the map again, thanks to Dale Jr. and a whole bunch of other guys. The asphalt races that were there in the middle of last year, and now the actual All-Star race coming to this track in real life, man, that's a huge ticket, and also huge cost for those ticket items, Kurt. It's going to be definitely something to watch.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been hoping and praying for a long time with Dale Jr. being a big pusher to get this track to come back to NASCAR, or at least in some sort of way, whether it's the limited series or modifieds, whatever it is, gets racing back to North Wilkesboro. And North Carolina decided to set aside some big funds for 3 different tracks: Rockingham, Charlotte, and North Wilkesboro. North Wilkesboro being the first one to get all the additional stuff done to it. I wish I could go to this race, Pete, but after looking at some prices for tickets and things, with this being such a big deal for it to come back for the very first race in NASCAR, coming back after, what has it been, 15, 20, 25 years since there's been a race at North Wilkesboro, it is a heavy ticketed price to go to these races. And in my opinion, it will be worth it. I just don't want to spend that kind of money without maybe finding a new place to live.
yeah. I mean, huge price on those tickets. I just pulled up the qualifying for that session we just were kind of listening to, because we were kind of getting through the meat and potatoes of the race, so to say. And no surprise, Brian McCann was on top in that number 3. Neil Quick was P2. Looks like Aaron Smith was 3rd. Byron Jones, that was really struggling in that practice, was P4. Brandon Mefford, P5. Stoney Benfield, David Trumbley, Mike Koch, Joshua Funkhauser, Chris Mefford were able to round out the top 10. The rest of the field was David Brown, Doug Wysocki, Timothy Stubblefield, Chris Wally, Vince Short, Robert Barney. The only one that did not go out there and lay down a qualifying lap was Gabe Ellison. And what do you know, just as I say that, the 27 pulls out on track.
Yeah, and I mean, Pete, we've got 16 guys possibly racing tonight, maybe 17. Kind of surprised to see a few guys not in the field tonight, with some heavy hitters not being here tonight. But obviously somebody either has family stuff going on, which family is always first.
Yep.
But just kind of surprised not to see them. It's a big event. Yes, it's an all-star race. It's not a points race. Doesn't really count, but there is prizes to go along with this thing. And it's a great league to be a part of, and I'm glad to be up here in the booth with you as always, Pete. It's always a highlight of the week to be in the booth.
Well, I'll tell you what. Here we go for heat number 1. It's going to be Robert Barney on the pole. Timothy Stubblefield P2. Chris Mefford's going to be P3. David Trumbley, Byron Jones, and Brian McCann. So Brian McCann, the field was inverted, so he's got to go to the back. He will be in P number 6. Let's actually go ahead and empty that out. Let's pull up with our grid right now, and there you see. The number 16 truck for Robert Barney. He's going to be on that inside row. Kurt, where would you prefer to be on the inside or the outside for a restart here at North Wilkesboro?
Whenever I ran some practice and stuff in the next gen car, I preferred the outside to get that jump and dive into the corner, get it down to the bottom, clear the guy on the bottom. But it's so difficult here where there's people that can line up and get the right jump at the same time, and then you're stuck on the outside like at Martinsville, Richmond, where you just can't get any drive off to carry the momentum. So I would say on the outside, but you better be quick to the draw of stepping on that pedal and getting going.
Well, we're about to find out. The pace car, they're going to come around one more time, pass by the flag stand. Everybody under pace speed, just kind of setting everything just right. This is, again, just a very, very short 4-lap shootout to set the feature later on. But don't forget, there is a consolation race after the heats are completed. So we got a lot of great racing yet to go. Kurt, I'm excited. It's been a long time since I've actually called a heat race, and these guys are they're ready to go.
Oh yeah, it's about to get heavy here. You got 5 laps to get up into position, and I don't remember what the transfer spot is, Pete, but a guy like Byron sitting back there at the back, he's going to have to move it here as we go green.
Oh, Byron actually spun the tires on the restart. I'm going to guess maybe he thought a first gear restart would have been the way to go. But up front, here we go. They're double wide for the lead. They were 3 wide behind them. Byron Jones all the way in the back right now. Chris Mefford leading the way. Robert Barney, Timothy Stubblefield, McCann, Trumbley, and Jones. But it looks like Chris Mefford's going to take the lead all to himself. And we're already counting down.
Yeah, we've seen Medford be really fast in some tracks, Barney be fast in some tracks. McCann, we know how his speed goes. Byron's got to win. He's been really fast as well. So I would like to see those two try to make some moves, but it's hard to start in the back, Pete. With only 5 laps, you're going to make a pass every single lap to at least get into that transfer spot.
Yeah, the transfer spot right now as Chris Medford goes to Plaid, actually posting the fastest lap of the race right there so far. A little bit further in back, 3:96, doing a little bit of a duel. 3 underneath the 79, 16 still holding everybody behind the 46 off. The 46 been showing a lot of speed. 2 to go.
Yeah, with 2 to go, I'm going to be surprised if I don't see a bump and run here with somebody, but I don't know if McCann can get to the 16 to even do it. He's closed the gap, but he just can't get to the bumper.
Now 3 trying to get underneath 16, thinks better of it, checks up. White flag lap so far. Chris Mefford is the man on the mission. Everybody else right now in his rear view.
As we come off of turn 2, it's going to be going down the backstretch into the final. McCain's got to make his move now.
Yep, McCann's all the way back in P number 4. He can't do anything. Going to try to throw it 3 wide. And it looks like it's going to be the 46, 79, 16 top 3. Brian McCann, P4. David Trumbley, and then Byron Jones. All right, so here we go again. Let's go ahead and bring up your starting grid. As you can see him there, actually, no need to pull up the grid. You see it right there on the left-hand side. Ellison, Wally, Brown, Koch, Mefford, and Quick. This is going to be Neil Quick in the deuce. Guy had a whole very, very fast truck last week, and they go ahead and grid up. Barney's got the field in view. You see the pace car up ahead one more time. So the 46 took that one. Kurt, who do you think takes race or heat number 2?
It's tough because I think the 46 got a good jump. I don't think the 16 really was expecting it. We saw the 19 spin the tires, so I think Ellison, who's been very fast in a lot of races, had a lot of top 5s. I think if he can get to the opening and get in front of Wally, I think he's set sail. I think Wally's going to be under fire here with Brown, Koch, Quick, and Medford all trying to come up, but it's only the top 3 that advance. So you know you got to be in the top 3, but you do have that consolation if you don't make it.
Yeah,
that consolation rate is going to be nuts with 20 laps.
Absolutely, because everybody wants to race the main. Everybody wants to, there's no points on the line whatsoever for tonight. Tonight is all about all-star pride at North Wilkesboro. Normally, traditionally we've seen this race at Charlotte Motor Speedway, where they have a whole week full of activities, everything from flying down pit road at 180 miles an hour, really just holding it almost wide open off of turn number 4 to this very, very short track, just up the road from Concord, and the hustle and bustle of Charlotte Motor Speedway. So again, the pace car, he still has the field. 27, 51, Dave Brown, Mike Koch, Neil Quick, Brandon Medford, green flag.
Ellison gets a good jump. Wally tries to jump it on the outside too and gets a good run into turn 1. He's going to roll it. He's actually going to clear the 27 because the 27 had to check up. 51 clears. He's going to have the lead. That clean air is king. So we'll see if Chris Wally actually wins this heat race.
Look at the 2 of Neil Quick coming up through the middle. We're going to have a little bit of contact with that 7 truck. 7 hit the inside wall. So far, no caution.
There's no cautions in the heat races, Pete. So that 7 is going to be out of this thing.
Yeah, the 2 of Neil Quick took it 3 wide, and the 7 was to the outside, just nowhere to go. There is no room here for 3 wide.
Battling.
Oh, look.
83 hits the inside wall.
Yep, 83 Mefford. He is going to be out of it as well. Right now, Chris Wally, though, in the 51, the man just went to Plaid, posting a time of 19:23 and trying to pull away a little bit. 2 laps to go.
Yeah, Wally, Ellison, and Neil Quick are all 3 in the transfer spot. Mike Koch has got to get up here and do something, but he's falling behind these 3. Really, these 3 don't have to get that aggressive, but one of them wants to win this thing, so they're all going to try to battle it.
Absolutely. 2 going to try to look underneath the 27 of Gabe Ellison. No such luck. White flag lap. Does anybody pull a bump and run? Do they send the 51 reeling to the outside or inside wall? So far, no such luck. Down the backstretch, Kurt coming to the line.
I don't think they're going to get to him. No such thing going to happen. Quick is going to try to go underneath the 27 and beat him to the line. 27's going to have momentum, beats him to the line.
There you go. So it's going to be Chris Wally, P1, Gabe Ellison, P2, Neil Quick to go on over for P3, and that is how they will move on over to the final. All right, so heat number 3, we're going to be talking about Vince Short, Doug Wysocki, Joshua Funkhauser, Stoney Benfield, and Aaron Smith. So just 5 truckers in this one, ready to put the pedal to the metal.
Yeah, and I don't want to say there's an outlier in this event here for this heat, but I'm going to say Aaron Smith is going to come from the back on this one. He is a very talented driver. He's got 5 laps to do it. I'm not trying to short the guys in front of him, but I feel like Aaron's going to put it to him here.
No pun intended for Vince Short up front. I get you. Yeah. So yeah, here we go. So it's going to be Vince Short, Doug Wysocki, Joshua Funkhauser, Stoney Benfield, and Aaron Smith. We haven't seen anybody come from the back as of yet. Well, actually, no. I think the 2 he started a little bit further back, and yeah, came home inside the top 3. So here we go
Brian
again.
came home in the top 3 as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I am wrong. Thank you very much for pointing that out.
He didn't come from the very back though. Well, Brian did.
Yep, Brian did. Yeah.
But I'm saying I think Aaron will go to the front. I think he'll get to him if he can. I feel like Aaron's an aggressive driver. He will be somebody that gives a bump and run.
Well, we're about to find out. They're back double file. Vincent Short will be the control truck. Doug Wysocki, again, that 34 to the outside. Joshua Funkhauser, 81. 75 of Mr. Benfield. And then Aaron Smith. All right, come on, Internet. Hold on there. Just a little while longer, please.
Pace car is going to come out of turn 4 and duck down pit road, which is very short and very small. There's not a lot of room down there as we go green with the 15 of 15. Vincent Short getting a great jump and clears the 34 into turn 1. Aaron Smith logged in behind these guys, 34-81 on the bottom, trying to hold off the 70.
Absolutely. Look in the back. You mentioned that Aaron Smith's going to try to work his way forward. Just nailed the curb to the inside just a little bit, 75 to the outside. Aaron's going to go ahead and take that first spot away.
Didn't hurt him.
And yep, did. And come on. Let's see. Internet's kind of failing me a little bit right now.
It's a big run off the corner by going really high.
Come on.
Goes low underneath the 81 of Funkhauser.
There we go. We're back. All right. So, nope. And we're back out again. So, yeah, unfortunately, it's a little bit of a lag issue that right now. Hopefully, trying to get this fixed. Vincent Short kind of running away, though. Doug Wysocki, P2, Joshua Funkhauser, Aaron Smith, and Stoney Benfield. Again, I definitely apologize to anybody that's out there watching. A little bit of frame loss, but look at this, 3 wide for P2. Oh, that wall is just not going to give, Kurt. 2 laps to go.
No, it's going to hurt him. He had it if he could have made it stick, but it did not stick and went up into the wall. He's going to try it again. Gets right to the back bumper of the 34. He only needs to pass that 34 to get into the next round.
That's right. If he can get on.
He needs to pass 34 and 75.
Yep, 34 and 75. I was going to say 75 got a little loose, and it made the 34 actually check up a little bit. So here is the battle for P2, 81 and 75. This is the checkers, and it's going to be all Vincent Short knocking out Joshua Funkhauser, Stoney Benfield, Aaron Smith, and Doug Wysocki. 2 seconds between all of them.
That clean air is king here.
Yep.
I forgot about Vincent Short. He had checked out so far in front of him.
Yep. Barbara Pinion out there saying, "Go faster, Pastor." Yeah, well, there you go. So we got a 5-minute warm-up now. Again, we're gonna go ahead and show you what the All-Star is actually gonna go ahead and look like. So we've been through the 5-lap heats. Now we are into the 20-lap consolation race, and then the feature there says 90 laps, but it's only going to be 80 with stage breaks at 25, 25, and 30 to make it all up, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I think this 20-lap consolation is going to be way more exciting than those heat races were. Even though those heat races they showed us a lot of things, of guys being aggressive, guys trying to make passes. That front air, the clean air is king. So I think these guys are going to be super aggressive to get into those transfer spots to go into the finals. And I'm trying to pay attention to what it was, Pete, and I think it is, who is it that moves on out of this one?
I can go back to it right now.
I'm looking.
Yep.
16-car field.
I think
cautions,
everybody does, but just the field inverts.
Oh, okay. So yeah, everybody moves on then.
All right, give me 1 second. I will be right back. All right, apologize. Had someone knocking at the door, unfortunately. All right. Kip Cook says, "Go 75, faster, Pastor, and Stoney Benfield." Right now, looks like Benfield, he has not come out on track as of yet. So, yeah, we'll see. Chris Medford.
I'm kind of wondering who makes it through this one. Is Medford's in there? Smith, or not Medford, sorry. Did McCann make it in or not? I can't see who made it in or not. So I know Aaron Smith's going to be in this consolation race, and I feel like he's going to be a challenger. I think Byron will be too, because Byron, I mean, he kind of held off. He kind of watched everything going. I think he realized he wasn't going to get there, so he was just trying to figure out some lap times. He had a fast qualifying lap, so I think he's got a shot here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens with Byron. I think Byron might have accidentally tried a first gear restart and just spun him in the back, and from there, there's no catching up. So we'll see what he's capable of doing just a little bit later on. But right now, it looks like all 17 drivers will be out here. Everybody from Chris Medford, that's on the top of the scoring pylon right now, all the way down to Doug Wysocki in 15th. Only Byron Jones and Stoney Benfield have not gone out and turned a practice lap with just about a minute and a half to go. Do you think you need to put down that time, or do you think Byron Jones and Stoney may have just said, you know what, we're going to go ahead and just lay up?
I mean, I think as long as, I mean, this thing is really fast. It's a lot of foot. It's a lot of arm turning, trying to figure it out. Why not take a break? Take a 5-minute break. Check yourself. You just ran some heat races. You know what you just saw. Maybe take some notes from what you just saw as well, and try to implement them here in the Constellation race to get a better starting position. But at the same time, Pete, if it's going to be inverted, why put in a lot of effort? If you finish last in the Constellation, you get inverted.
You know what? I actually just got word from Race Control. Looks like when the race was built, something happened with it, and iRacing put everything into the feature, so there won't be a Constellation race. That's why we're seeing everybody out there right now. So what you see is what we're going to have here shortly. So we're going to go straight feature racing in just a little bit, as soon as my internet, unfortunately, will stay up. The clock continues to count down, and Kurt, we're going feature racing.
Yeah, if that's the case, Peter, I'm kind of then worried about Byron, because he finished last in his heat, which means he's going to be towards the back of this field to start. But there's no cautions, or no cautions are on. So, I mean, if he can survive through this thing and make up some positions, I don't think you really need to pit. It's only 80 laps. We've got short stages. I don't know if you pit. I don't know if you give up the track position.
No, I'd probably say no, unless something happens.
Unless you're at the back.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and clear the boards right quick, and we'll go ahead and pull up your race info, and then of course your grid to see what we've got here. So it looks like, again, it's going to be Dave Brown, Byron Jones, P number 2. Let's actually work on up. Yeah, Byron is on track, so there we go. Doug Wysocki, P3. Brandon Medford, P number 4.
That
David
worked out for him really well there.
Yep. David Trumbley, Aaron Smith, Mike Koch, Brian McCann, Stoney Benfield, Neil Quick, Robert Barney, and Joshua Funkhauser. Behind them is going to be Timothy Stubblefield, Gabe Ellison, Chris Wally, Vince Short, and Chris Mefford. All right, so let's get back up. And again, I apologize for a little bit of an issue here, and it's not working out the way that it is supposed to by far.
I mean, for Brown and Byron, they lucked out the most by finishing last in their heats, Pete. It puts them at the very front. We saw clean air was king. The people that it hurts, the people that won their thing. I mean, we knew it was going to be inverted, but they also knew there was going to be a consolation race that would invert as well. So it definitely works out for the front four.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, when we were going over the race details earlier, and again, big thank you to Chris Wally, the owner of the IROC series, for that amazing graphic, absolutely explaining everything as far as how this race was going to be run. So kudos to Chris Wally for getting that done. But we're going green flag racing, hammer down.
All-Star Racing in North Wilkesboro. David Brown gets a good jump, but Byron dives it deep into the corner and clears the 7 and takes the lead, Pete. It's exactly what he needs to do to start off this race. Clean air is king, and that's where he's at.
Absolutely. Byron Jones right now in the 19 up front, the 7 of David Brown right behind him. We got a wreck in the back. So that caution number 1 flies.
Gabriel Ellison is involved in this one.
Yeah, let's kind of take a shot back with Gabe right now. See exactly what happened. And that 2-7 down low, 16. Tagged to 16. Gabe nowhere to go, just gets sent to the outside wall. And that is going to hurt that 27. It's going to go ahead and loop it around, grab a gear, and he'll get up and get going. Let's go ahead and bring it back live. Susan Ritchie says, go 75, our faster pastor. Jessica Stubblefield says, go Stubbs. There we go. So
yeah, I'm not sure exactly where the 15 thought he was going to go on that one.
No real idea. Now
it didn't help that the 16 clipped the curb too, which checked up, but the 15 threw it in there 3 wide in the middle, and I think Ellison got maybe hosed on that one.
Yep, here is the 79 of Timothy Stubblefield right now, sitting back in 13th, up 1 spot in that first lap or two that was run. And then, of course, they're also talking about the 75 of Stony Benfield up here, the faster pastor, in his Spartan number 75 Silverado. Right now, he is sitting P9 right where he started. Nothing gained, nothing lost in a lap or two.
And I'm kind of surprised right now because it's showing that Brown was the leader, which he definitely wasn't. So I'm not sure how this works out here. I don't think Byron got a chance to choose the outside, or maybe he did, but
yeah, this will probably be corrected as they come around, because otherwise the 7, if I'm not mistaken, would end up getting a black flag if he doesn't make way for the leader. Heel, boy, heel.
Yeah, I mean, Byron's got to start in the restart box. Once he does that, the 7 can go. So
yeah,
he's just got to allow the leader to go. That's why I like the choose rule. I like that the leaders are allowed to swap positions like that. I like the choose rule in general. I wish we could do more of it in iRacing, where guys could choose to go all the way to the front if they didn't choose the same line as everybody else. But really, we can only do it with the leaders.
That's right. All right, so it looks like there might be a little bit of an issue there. I'm going to go ahead and switch on over.
Green flag.
Green flag is up and out, and something again is going on. There we go. All right, so yeah, Byron Jones getting a good launch on the high side.
Yeah, you got a great launch. Just dove it down to the bottom. Just no fear of anything. Just dove it and cleared. The 7 is going to pull away, Pete, already by over a half second over the rest of the field.
Yeah, that clean air in some very, very tight corners, absolutely key. Byron Jones, not only that, he's the man that's the fastest in town right now, posting a time of 19:32. Nobody else is within 0.3 of him right now. Looks like David Brown might have had a little bit of issue in the back, but so far, no caution is out. And we're going to kind of work our way through as you can start to see those laps continuing to click off. A little bit of a problem. It looks like. Let me go ahead and see if I can't reset this right quick. Give me one moment.
And the 83 gets a really good jump too. He pulls away. He's going to try to run down Byron. The outside line is king right now. They're really carrying this B, and the bottom is just stuck too wide all through the field, and it's allowing Byron and now Medford to pull away. It's going to allow Aaron Smith and Brian McCann, who's now up into the top 4. He's jumped 4 spots since the start of the race, and I fear that for Byron, but we've got a stage coming up soon, Pete, in about 24 laps or whatever it is now. Byron, I think, just needs to continue to do what he's doing. Keep to the outside on the restarts and just get away from the field.
Absolutely. Go ahead and show you the field from the IROC TV blimp right now, right over the start stripe. You see everybody heading off into turns 1 and 2 down the backstretch. You see the gap that Byron Jones has over Brandon Medford right now for P number 2, and the rest of the field. It is literally a hornet's nest from about P7 on back.
Yeah, Brian McCann back there in 4th. He's fastest on track, but he can't get away from the field. He keeps getting stuck with guys going side by side. He's trying to get underneath Aaron Smith. He can't do it. So he's kind of just stuck back here behind some guys who are just a tick slower than he is. If he could clear these two of Aaron Smith and Medford, he could probably run down Byron pretty quickly, but he just can't get past them because it's so hard to make passes at a short track like this. Just like Martinsville and Richmond, it's so hard to make passes.
Yeah, when I was talking to our leader during practice, he said, Pete, I'm actually a big fan of short tracks. He can't wait for Bristol, which is next week. We're turning 200 laps at the last great Coliseum, and so far he might be giving everybody else just a little bit of a taste as to what they're in for next week. 10 laps already in the book out of 80.
Yeah,
so 15 more laps to the stage break.
Looking to do the Kyle Busch sweep at Bristol. He's already won at the dirt race at Bristol earlier on a couple weeks ago, so if he can go in there and conquer the concrete as well, he'll be king of Bristol for at least this season.
Absolutely. Looking back now from Mike Koch in this 00, and you see everybody behind him. You can really hear them when they try to get on the throttle, as well as where they're getting off of it, trying to get the rear end to hook up, to not spin out. And just as I say not spin out, it just looked like the 7 might have lost it a little bit further in the back, and put himself into the wall. That was definitely not the not Gabe Ellison. I thought it was the 7. I could be wrong. Nope, the 7 of David Brown. He's still on track. So it's somebody a little bit further back.
Ellison's off track. He's down 5 laps. So, but he had some heavy damage. 34 is now coming down pit road as well, Pete. So maybe that's who came off in the neon green.
Yep, the same colors between the 34 and the 7. So that's why I thought it was Dave Brown. As you see him now up here in P number 6. Aaron Smith, P3. Brian McCann, P number 4. Neil Quick, 5th. David Brown, Joshua Funkhauser, Mike Koch, Stoney Benfield, and David Trumbley. So a whole lot of single file racing now, Kurt.
Yeah, and so far Byron's doing exactly what he needs to. He's managing that gap. He stayed at about a half second over Medford. And the other 3 are just in line and they can't go around each other. So they're trying to draft in the little bit of draft that you can get on these straightaways to try to get closer to Byron and have him make a mistake. He's a little slower than they are. Not by much, but just a little bit. So that little bit of time they can get each lap, they could close in by the end of the stage, which is coming in 14 lap speed.
Yeah, very, very quick, kind of closing. Actually, I think isn't the first stage on lap 25, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's 25 or 30.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 25, 25, and then 30. Yeah. So, yeah, getting even closer. But so far, Byron Jones still leading and riding along with the gyro cam from Brandon Mefford right now. And he is closing in on Byron. But still, for Byron from, possibly choosing the wrong gear in his heat to now leading every lap so far, that's a pretty good start for the young buck and definitely shows that he came to race.
It might be a blessing in disguise for him because he was really fast in practice, or at least a couple laps he ran. He ran some fast laps. He ran a good qualifying lap, and then just kind of had a brain fart there with starting in the wrong gear, spun the tires, and it's a huge blessing for him because it put him out on the front row to start this 80-lap feature, and he has not looked back since the start of the race.
No, not at all.
I think he needs to start looking back because Medford's coming.
Yeah, kind of riding along right now with Brian McCann and his dash cam looking forward. And, yeah, I mean, right now, Brian, he's in P4. What's really going to be interesting is how everybody treats the stage break. Does everybody come on down or who does what? Looking ahead now from Brandon Mefford all over the tailgate of Byron Jones coming off. And they are getting squirrely going into turn number 1. Will there be a bump and run? I don't know. 4 laps to go before the stage break. Looking inside.
Yeah, Byron's got to protect the bottom. He's giving up the bottom just a little bit. Medford's now underneath him, but it's extremely hard to pass on the bottom because of the momentum the outside line carries. But, I mean, it's so close as Medford now clears him. He'll take the bottom, but the door's still open on the bottom. Now the 70 of Aaron Smith's going to fill that hole between the 19. I think the 19 is going to go to 4th on this, Pete.
Yeah, it's very, very possible. And what's happening, Tim, right now is very much like Bristol or Martinsville of old, where once you get that conveyor belt of trucks underneath you, it's almost impossible to find a gap down below to fall back in and then try to claw your way back forward. You said he was going to finish or go back to about P number 4. And yep, that's right where he is right now. Neil Quick rounding out the top 5, and even he wants a shot underneath Byron as well. But Byron able to launch off the corner and keep that position so far.
Yeah, he needed to yank it down and get behind the 3, and he just didn't do it quick enough.
Nope.
The 2 now able to dive underneath him, and he's going to go back to 5th after leading all those laps with 1 lap to go, Pete.
Yeah, but he's got a good feeling of what his truck is capable of, and yep, that was lap 25. And well, my internet is throwing the caution right now, and hopefully that comes back up here very, very quickly. We come back to the yellow, and we won't miss.
No caution out on track, though.
No caution yet. Okay. Oh, good times.
There it is.
All right.
The end of 25, I guess.
All right, man. Caution
All
is
right,
out.
great.
Caution is out.
Medford's going to win that first stage.
There you go. So Brandon Mefford, yep. Brandon Mefford, Vincent Short, Aaron Smith, Brian McCann, and Neil Quick. All right. So we won't.
It was showing Vincent Short, but it's not. It's actually Byron. I don't know why it showed Vincent up there, but he's actually a lap down.
Gotcha. Good old SDK. All right, yeah, we're not. We won't pull these guys because the pit time and the pace laps are just too short. There you see Byron Jones coming into his stall as the first place truck, and gonna come on out after grabbing whatever he feels he needs to grab, just like the rest of everybody else. And it looks like, you know, they're all in here for quite a while. They're getting jacked up on the rights, jacked up on the lefts. Go ahead. I would imagine no fuel. They should be able to go the entire 80 laps on just the fuel that they've got. And you can see that they're spending more time on pit road than normal. The pit crews are the pit crews, if I'm not mistaken, from the 80s. So or late 80s, early 90s. So they don't have the second times. They're all on pit road for quite a stint.
Yeah, and I'm kind of confused there. I saw Byron's truck go up on the right side twice, so I'm not sure what happened there, but they're still being held on pit road. Nobody has left.
Nope, not at all. Let's see.
I'm wondering if this is being treated like the Bristol Dirt situation where they come down and they have a break to get those tires and fuel changed, automatically being put into the pit road for a certain amount of time.
Absolutely possible. Just going to wait for them to come on back out on track, and yeah, we'll reset everything for another 25 laps.
Probably
Again,
talk to one of them now.
Caution laps do not count, so they will go 25, 25, and then 30. Let's as they're starting to pop into view.
They're inverting the field.
Yep, that's what was taking just a moment.
Yeah, so they're releasing one guy at a time to come out the pit boxes.
All right, so maybe that's why Vincent Short was just kind of hanging in the back. He didn't want to. He didn't want to be up front, or he didn't want to.
They're gonna have to hurry up with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna have to stop on the front stretch because they're still not out of the pit box.
Well, this will be all set by iRacing. So let's see. I'm just waiting for clarification as to who exactly is the leader. I want to say.
I want to say it's Vincent Short, but right now Wally's the leader, so
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
Yeah, a whole lot of wave rounds getting added right now, so they can line up the way that they need to. That's why the scoring, you see the scoring pylon continuing to change. Once the running order is correct, they'll go ahead and get everything taken care of. Since Chris Wally is the league owner and main admin, more than likely he's the one taking care of all these wave rounds and whatnot. So we won't bother him.
It says Sam Maxwell is doing all the adjustments here.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So as soon as the scoring pylon is done and we know who the leader is, we'll try to pull.
And they extended the caution another lap, so.
Yep.
But it looks like they're up to speed.
Okay.
Or at least Wally and the 16 look like they're actually racing. I'm not sure.
I think they're just catching. They're just catching up to the tail end of the field.
You got me, Pete, because I don't know what's going on.
Okay, there we go. So now the 51 and company all lined up behind the pace car. You see the 16 there as well. So here we are up behind the pace car. You see the lights on the top. That car are still on. So this is where we're at with the field inverted. 51-16. The 15 rather, with the 51 to the outside. Vincent Short is the leader. Robert Barney, Chris Wally, David Trumbley, and Chris Mefford. Mike Koch, Stoney Benfield, David Brown, Joshua Funkhauser, and Byron Jones. That is your top 10, as you can see there on the scoring pylon on the left-hand side.
And we are 1 to green, so it did take 26 laps, so they froze it at the caution.
Yep, caution laps. Yep, caution laps do not count.
Well, that definitely helps, but yeah, those guys that went to the front, they're starting from the back, so we're going to see some aggressiveness to get back up towards the front. Or do they hold back because they know there's one more stage break coming and the field will be inverted again where they will be put in the front? So do you go out and try to win the stage? I don't know. I wouldn't. I'd sit back and wait.
All right, well, pace car's off. We're about to find out. 51 hard on the throttle, 16 out there as well. 51 spun him just a little bit, so the 16 was able to pull right up, but they are side by side for the first at least 3 rows.
I'm still trying to figure this out here. My SDK is saying that Mike Koch is the leader.
Nope, Mike Koch is showing P number 2 right now. So yeah, I'm gonna guess that the scoring was not quite right, or maybe the broadcasting software not able to keep up with the changes that were made in real time. Not 100% sure, but the 51 he's got an idea, or maybe are they going by old school rules where lap down trucks or whatever start in the front? It's kind of hard to tell for sure because of the scoring being off. But right now the 75 of Benfield up front, Koch P2, Brown, Funkhauser, and Quick. We'll go with the scoring rules, I guess. Although I'm sure that's not what the 51 would want.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sure the rest of the field's probably like, hey, it's not scoring us here. But I mean, they know what they're doing. They'll figure it out. Oh, we got a caution.
Yeah,
Big wreck.
Yeah, a little bit further in the back. See, Brian McCann's involved. Robert Barney, Stoney Benfield, Mike Koch, and others. All right.
Fast Pastor Benfield is going to be involved.
Yepper. All right, let's see. All right, so we're a little bit further in the back. Let's go back with Neil Quick, and we'll switch it on around to the chase cam. I said chase cam. There we go. And let's go ahead and play it from here.
75's truck just whipped around.
Yep. Let's go ahead and rewind that since we saw him up there.
It almost looked like it was netcode because of how quickly he spun, but I know he made contact with the 16 with the front of the right front, but the back end just whipped like he got drilled from somebody else, but there was nobody on his back bumper, so.
All right, let's take a look from the rear view.
I think it's the 16 making contact with the right front.
All right, one more time. And play it. Yep. All right, let's go ahead and bring it back live. All right, this will be a chance here on lap 30. 50 more laps to go. Again, caution laps do not count. Right now it's showing that the deuce of Neil Quick is the leader, so I would imagine this is where the tower and any admins will go ahead and take control and try to correct the running order.
We'll have about 15 laps before the end of the next stage, Pete, so guys are going to have to start moving if they want to get up here and win the stage. But like I said, Pete, if it's like this, I wouldn't win the stages. I don't know what the stages gives you as far as a prize or anything, or towards the end of the race, if they invert it to where the winners of the stages get front positions and the rest of the field is inverted. I don't know if that's the sequence, but I wouldn't try to win the stages if it's not that, because I would try to stay towards the back at the end of the second stage, get inverted, go to the front, exactly like Byron did with the heat races, where him and Brown and a couple others finished at the last spot of their heat races and started on the front row.
Well, let's see. Stage 1 consisted of 16 drivers. Stage 2 is 13 drivers. Stage 3 is 10 drivers. All invert. So there you go. So there's a little bit of strategy to staying in the back if you can control your race pace, because when it's all said and done, you get a real shot at getting towards the front when the new stage starts.
Yeah, if the winners are going to be at the front and the final 10 are the ones that are inverted, I don't know if I would not want to win or if I would want to finish in 10th or 9th.
Yeah.
If those 10 are going to be inverted and the leader or the winners of each stage go to the front, then you're going to want to be in somewhere in that 7 to 10 range where it inverts and you start in 3rd or 4th.
Or do you just try to control your or you got to win. I mean, or do you just try to control your own destiny, and you know that it's 16 drivers, then 13 drivers, and then 10 drivers. Do you try to go about it in that fashion and try to work your way up front each time? Where on the final stage, you try to start somewhere in the middle. We saw some guys in the heats were able to move on up from about P5, P6. Do you just try to stay somewhere in the middle of the pack and do your thing as the race goes on?
I mean, I would strategically place myself in the inverting spot to go to the front row.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. If it's only 10 being moved, I would make sure I finish 10th in this second stage, because 10th goes to first.
Yeah, but if it's the next stage, then you have to go to the back again.
Is it only 3 stages or is it 4?
Nope, only 3 stages.
Okay, so after the second stage, it inverts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
That's the last time it inverts.
That's the last time it inverts. All right, green flag's
so
back out. Pace car's up. 51 again, hard on the throttle. 46. Chris Medford to the outside. David Trumbley, and we are back. Green flag, all double file, all the way back, Kurt.
Yeah, and Medford gets a great jump on the is that Medford? Yeah, my SDK and other things all messed up. But Medford of the 46 gets a great jump to the outside. Going to get a good run on the 51. Should clear him going into turn 1 and 2 and take over the lead. We saw him disappear in his heat race when he got the lead.
They're going to go ahead and try to work back on up to Chris Wally and the 46. There you see Medford all it looked like he was going to get a little tight. I'm kind of curious what that was about, because he was all the way up by the wall, just really trusting to open up that wheel. 51 completely all over the back end, not giving much room at all, or at least he wasn't there going into the corners. Jessica Stubblefield says, come on, 79, you got this. 79 right here of Stubblefield, a little bit further in the back as he comes across, or comes underneath the start stripe. Working lap 33 of 80. If this was a traditional race, as you see Byron Jones there tagged the outside wall right in front of Stubblefield. Now he's got the 2.5, I believe that is, right in front of him to deal with, as they're all, again, single file coming under the line and barreling off into turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, and I think we forgot to mention, Pete, that Brian McCann was eliminated at the end of stage 1. So he is not part of the second stage.
Yeah, I mean, a guy that's extremely strong, out early, and you just gotta keep on keeping on. That's why we saw such aggressive driving, and unfortunately, because the consolation race didn't take place, if you were eliminated in your heat race, you're just out.
And Medford's starting to set sail, Pete. He's already out to about a half second over the 51 of Wally, but Wally's maintaining his position. 96 is not coming up on him. David Trumbley sitting, or 81, sorry, of Timothy's. No, not even him. 81. Numbers are messed up. Joshua Funkhauser in the 81, sitting there in third, Pete. He is steadily staying right there with the 51 as well. 51's got some damage to his truck, Pete, but he's able to hang on to that position. Short track, your short track, your truck does not have to be a beauty queen at the end of the night.
No, not at all. There's like no aero factor here whatsoever, except for the clean air on the nose of your Silverado. Again, big thank you to Spartan Transportation LLC for being the primary sponsor of the IROC Challenge Series. Pretty much all the IROC series, whether it's Contender, Challenger, or Dirt, or whatever. Big thank you to Brian Reek, owner and operator of IROC TV and the primary sponsor of the IROC series. Again, guys and girls, if you've got a Roku TV, go on over to the streamer section of your TV and search out IROC TV. It's the logo that you see on the bottom left-hand side. Or if you've got a Roku streaming deck, do the same thing. It's a completely free channel. I broadcast on there very often, right along with Kurt and several of the leagues that he broadcasts for. look for IROC TV. All replays, all live streams are broadcast in beautiful 4K. So whether it's a league, community, club, POV, podcast, whatever it is, in 4K, amazing quality. Go on over. It's a free download. How often do you hear free anymore? And keep up with things.
Yeah, and being able to go back and rewatch the races, whether it was this week's race, last week's race, or even the beginning of the season, you can go back and watch in the vault for each content creator like myself and Pete and several others that are a part of that. So it's definitely cool to go back and watch them, Pete. I like to go back and sometimes watch and see what adjustments I can make to my stream, what adjustments I can make to what I talk about, things like that. Obviously, there's sometimes where I go on a tangent and talk forever, so got to adjust that too.
You? No.
Yeah. Hey, I learned from the best.
I do talk quite a bit sometimes. I agree.
I was told I was Bueller at one point, and now I'm told to shut up and stop talking.
Swatsworth. No, buddy. Not at all. All right. So here we are, and it looks like our leader is absolutely set sail. Everybody else trying to catch up, and it's just getting closer and closer to lap 50, working lap 45 of 80. Again, only the top 10 are gonna proceed. We went from 16 down to 13, 13 down to 10, and it's all about bragging rights to say that you won the All-Star race here at North Wilkesboro. Again, big thank you to everybody that's out there on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and IROC TV. If you don't already, please smash that subscribe button. Make sure you keep notifications on so you know every time one of these IROC series goes live. Several nights a week, and it just gets better and better as time goes on.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see how the season ends up, Pete. And we got the adjustment that there is no playoffs or anything like that. It's a straight old system of points to get that championship. So kind of adjust the way some drivers may be thinking. If they thought there was a playoff, now there isn't. So they needed to go out there and get it. McCann brothers have run away pretty much from the field. Top five or third through five are separated by only a handful of points, but first and second are definitely setting sail on the league.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's kind of interesting. The truck all the way, I believe that's going to be still the 46 of Chris Mefford. Yeah, as he comes underneath the start stripe to start lap 49. I mean, as I switch his camera around, you see Chris Wally back there right now in P number 2. Please don't pay any attention to the scoring pylon. Unfortunately, with the way that the field was set, it couldn't quite keep up, I'm going to guess. But as everybody comes underneath the start stripe, we will have stage break number 2 thrown, and we will have 30 laps to go. And again, only the top 10 will progress to that final stage, Kurt.
And I'm waiting for this caution to be thrown, but I think it's at the end. So Wally's going to come off turn 4, and there it is.
Yep.
Just before he got the line.
Yeah, that's just because the leader's got such a big lead.
See if they straighten out this order lineup when guys come down pit road this time. Yeah. I think it's a mandatory thing, Pete.
It might be.
They all have to come to pit road.
It could very well be. It's not written. It's not
like
written in the rules of the race, but it could very well be. I mean, you don't want to be out there on on old tires as again the internet's going to take a little bit of a hiatus on me. I can't wait for anybody that's out there, watching in a very recent past. I do apologize for the frame loss. The town that I live in is a very, very small town, only about 1,800 people, and we're going through a little bit of a population boom. Just north of Raleigh, North Carolina, and they're just having to do a lot of work to the infrastructure around me, and some signal issue is resulting from that. From what I hear, it's just going to take some time and some patience, but I will absolutely. Anybody that's watched me for the last 4+ years know that this problem is very, very new and, again, very unfortunate. So I do apologize that it keeps blinking out. All
Yeah, Pete, everybody wants to live out in the boondocks like you, so everybody's migrating away from the big cities and starting to fill up those areas that, people moved to, 10, 15, 20 years ago or whatever, and it's booming, and it's got to adjust. So everybody's got to hang on there as certain things are adjusted, whether it's your internet quality, whether it's your lines, whatever it is, everybody's got to adjust to it. Even my area of Anger is starting to boom up, being outside of Fuquay. Fuquay's boomed so much that now Anger and Lillington and Dunn are in question for booming, and Walmart's coming, so that's going to make it even worse.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So.
Yep. I mean, they're building 5,000 brand new homes in my immediate area. I mean, this tiny town of Oxford is not prepared for that. And again, I do want to sincerely apologize to everybody. Yeah, you've come through my town when we went to the Roval race. It's very much 2 lanes, coming at you and going, and that's really it. No 3 lane, no 4 lane, no nothing.
We got 2 stoplights.
Yeah, yeah. I think we have 2
stoplights in Andrew. So.
Yeah, we actually still have the main street in Oxford is actually Main Street. It's not just the street. Yeah, and there's still a whole bunch of there's still a whole bunch of old mom and pop shops on in town, and it's actually pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. But that's that's what we looked for, was that out of the main city, but still can be there within 35, 45 minutes. And now everybody else has figured that out, and there's just so many houses being built. I mean, there's a neighborhood going in within a quarter of a mile from me right now with 30 houses and I think it's like 25 townhomes and 2 apartment buildings all being built in one giant area right there. And like I told you yesterday, some bulldozer ran over the power line and took out power for 5 hours. So
yep.
It's an adjustment everywhere.
Yeah, and unfortunately we just have to kind of live with it and move on.
We just suffer.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me want to move even further away, but in 10 years they'll be out there too. So
yeah. All right, so we're just kind of hanging out here in the IROC TV blimp, just watching the cars slowly but surely work their way off of pit road. The pace car right now, he's got Chris Mefford in tow, or at least that's what the broadcast software is saying. 83 and 46 right now. 1-2. Mike Koch P3, David Brown P4, Byron Jones P number 5. So he was able to transfer on through. And again, only 10 cars will move on through to this final 30 lap stage 3 race.
Yeah, I think that was smart of Byron. He finished right there at the back of the top 10 and got inverted to it. And I think what it is the guys who won the heat races are the ones that are starting on the front row there, and then the rest of the field's being inverted from from 3rd to 10th. So Byron going to start up there in I think P4 or P3, so he finished right there around 7 through 10, and I think it was smart to do that. If he couldn't get up there and win the stage, I think finishing at the back half of the top 10 to get inverted to the front, that's what he had to do.
Absolutely, as you can see there, for stage 3, I know that says 25 laps, it's actually going to be 30. 10 drivers, all inverted. Stage 2. Stage 1 winner starts first. Stage 2 winner starts second. And then everybody else behind him, as Kurt, again, is explaining. Big thank you to all of this race's sponsors. Actually, this whole series sponsor. Again, Spartan Transportation, LLC, R&R Racewear, IROC TV, and 5 Star Graphics. Big thank you to all of them for coming on board to fully support what we all love to do. They continue to pace around. I think that's 1, maybe 2 more trucks on pit road. But it looks like it's actually just 1, and he's pulling off right now. So we're going to get ready, get set, get back going here just momentarily, Kurt. And what a way to go. Eddie Rose says, Starlink I got. It's the best thing for me where I lived in the mountains. Okay. Yeah. Around here, it's mostly Spectrum Communications or Charter.
Charter, which is technically Spectrum.
Yeah. So. And then, of course, you I think Starlink, is that what was the old HughesNet?
CenturyLink is another one.
What's that?
CenturyLink.
CenturyLink, yep, CenturyLink. I'm not sure if Starlink is the old HughesNet or not. It's basically internet via satellite dish.
Yeah, my parents got it, and they live in the boondocks in Texas, out in the middle of nowhere.
There you go. All right, but yeah, thank you, Eddie. All right, so let's go ahead and close back in. Hopefully this is correct. Yay! What do you know? Brandon Medford will be the truck that's showing right behind the pace truck, and as things continue to cycle through.
It's going to be exciting, Pete. We've got 30 laps to shoot this thing out, and I know we had a lot of guys being aggressive to try to get up here, and some guys made it, some guys weren't able to succeed on getting up there. The field being inverted, I think, was something some guys didn't think of. Aaron Smith, he drove his way up into the top 5, but he didn't win the stage, and now he's going to start at the back of this 10-car field.
All right, so Brandon Medford, Chris Medford, Mike Koch, Neil Quick, David Brown, Aaron Smith, Joshua Funkhauser, Chris Wally, Timothy Stubblefield, as it continues to cycle through. Once the entire lineup is set, you'll be able to see it there on the scoring pylon on the left-hand side. But right now, it's the Medford brothers, 1-2.
Yeah, and we've seen these guys not really battle. We've seen one be good at a track, another be good at another track, and the other one not. So to see both of them up here at the front to start this final stage here, it's kind of like the McCann brothers. I'm wondering which brother will attack the other one to go for it. The Busch brothers in real NASCAR have battled it out a couple times. I'd like to see those brothers get at it.
Absolutely. And still kind of working our way through. Looks like the lights atop the pace car are still on, so at least one more pace lap before we go green. And again, pace lap here, they do not count. So only green flag laps count. It's going to be one hell of a shootout. Kurt, you think somebody comes from mid-pack on up? You think somebody comes from the back as a surprise? Or you think the 83-46 kind of work together and try to gap themselves from the rest of the field?
I think Chris Medford has been really fast. He won a heat race. He won that last stage. He didn't start on the front row of either stage or the heat break. So I think if he can get to the front, I think his brother might challenge him. But I think, as we keep saying, clean air is king. So if Medford can get out of there and go, or if Brandon or if Chris can go, then I think he runs this thing away. I think a couple guys will make some moves from the back, but I don't know if they'll get to the leaders.
I'll tell you what, right now, kind of keeping an eye on the 2 of Neil Quick, sitting P5 down 3 spots from where he started. We are green flag racing. Here we go, Kurt.
83 does a great jump, gets out in front of his brother in the 46. 46 going to try to challenge him on the outside and carry the momentum, but the 83 going to have the bottom and going to roll through there.
Ooh.
Try to come up on top. 46 touches the wall a little bit.
Yeah, 46 a little tight, trying to really get that second groove to work. Maybe trying to diamond out a little, but the 83 is going to go ahead and wash up, allow that right front to eat, and he's going to carry a whole lot of momentum up and off the corner. 46 still trying to fight behind. P3 right now is Neil Quick. I mentioned a little bit ago that he was very, very fast in his heat race. And Mike Koch, P4, Aaron Smith going to be P number 5. These guys continuing to battle at it. There's a truck that they're going to be coming up on very, very soon. Let's see if they get on up and get out of the way. A lot of tight trucks, it's looking like, Kurt.
Yeah, David Brown was, I think he wrecked on the restart there, or spun it on the restart, because he has some damage and went almost a lap down. He's right in front of the leaders. But the 75 of is that Stony Bedford sitting there in P3 right behind the 46 and 83. This is the night that the Pasture can get up here and get a win in this All-Star race. The 2, though, is looking very quick and coming, and so is Aaron Smith.
Yeah, Aaron Smith right now in this number 70. He can see the battle up ahead. He just wants those guys to get after it so hard that they make contact, and maybe he catches a little bit of a break. Very, very hard to pass here. You got to hope that somebody overshoots the corner and you're able to cut underneath them. Single file, 1st through 5th.
And it looked like Byron actually didn't make the cut for the heat. He's actually parked it on pit road, so I thought he finished in the top 10 for it to be inverted, but maybe it was the top 8 or the 3rd through 8 that had to switch it out. I'm not sure. But he is not in the race. He's sitting 11th on pit road.
Very unfortunate for Byron. 83, about a good truck length gap between Chris Mefford. Neil Quick still sitting there in third. And I tell you, clean air. We've seen it in the heats, and we saw it in the first couple stages here as well, as we got 23 to go. That clean air absolutely matters. I mean, these corners coming off are so tight. You need every advantage in order to get these machines to turn.
Yeah, and Chris Mefford in the 46 was able to work his way to the front, making the passes late in the run in that 25-lap second stage. This is a 30-lap stage, so is he sitting back here kind of cooling off his tires, waiting for the 83, his brother, to burn his stuff up, or is this all he can do to the 83? The 83 has that clean air and is able to drive off the corners a little better than the 46. The 2 was kind of stuck behind the 75 of Stoney Bedfield and cannot get around him.
Yeah, looking back from Chris Mefford right now, as you see everybody else, like I mentioned earlier, kind of single file. Looks like the 2 of Quick, he's going to try to jump underneath. Not quite. That's not the 7. We called him at, what's that? Benfield, there you go. Yeah, trying to look underneath Benfield and see if he can't get something going. Here it is from the roll bar. There he is, going underneath in that deuce. Not quite clear. Have to give it a little bit of gas, and he's going to go ahead and try to throw it into the corner. That's going to push Stoney Benfield into 75 Silverado up one lane. The 2 is clear.
And the 70 thought about diving it in there, but just couldn't get there. 75 actually had a pretty good run off the corner to close off that spot. Now the 70 is going to have to work on him to do the same thing.
Yep, 70's
46 is not really challenging the 83 though, so
he might think it's too early. Still 18 laps to go here, and just kind of save his stuff. But yeah, I see the 70 behind the 75, really just kind of hunting in his tracks, just staying right there with him, not giving, not taking, just same distance all the way around this place to the 75. There he goes. Going to go ahead and throw the front nose clip in. Will he get him clear? Not clear this time. 75 is going to have a little bit of a run off, but the 70 has the advantage to the low line. You just unfortunately, when you're down that low and you have no way to open up the wheel, you can't get back in the throttle right when you want to either. So 75 doing a good job. Caution's out.
Yeah, 70 was really trying to crank it, but the more you do that, the more speed you scrub off on the bottom. So 75 is just able to roll the top side and carry the momentum.
Hey, it looks like Brandon Mefford's going to be involved in this. Unless these...
Was that with the lap down car?
We're about to find out.
I don't know. This thing's all jumbled up.
Yeah. Let me go back to Aaron Smith. We'll try him. Nope, yellow's out behind Aaron. Let's go a little bit further back. Let's go back with Chris Wally. Chris Wally's rear end is all kind of dented in. So let's do this the old school way, and we'll back it up and see if we can find out what happened. No, it's too far back.
It's further up.
What's that?
I can hear somebody screeching tires.
All right.
Is it the 81?
Let's find out. Play it from here.
I don't see anything.
Yeah, I don't either. Not yet, anyway. All right. Maybe iRacing through a phantom caution. Not 100% sure. I haven't seen anything as of yet. Let's try fast forwarding a little bit. Nope, nothing. So let's go ahead and bring it back live. Eddie Rose says, I raced with some of those guys to ask how better my internet is compared to a year ago. I still have a little dropping out, but nothing like I did before. Yeah, again, I've been broadcasting races between console and iRacing now for a little over 4 years, and this issue is very, very new to me. It's been going on for probably about a month, and just unfortunately, it is what it is for me. I would like to say, yeah, it's going to be fixed in next week or tomorrow or whatever, but I don't have a definitive time frame. And again,
racing and iRacing is a little different.
I definitely apologize for the dropped frames. What was that, Kurt?
And the weird thing, the difference between racing with the internet is a little different than trying to stream it, especially since we stream it to multiple areas. I mean, you're streaming to IROC TV, Facebook, YouTube. A lot of the nights we're streaming to 4 and 5 different locations. So there's a lot of bandwidth there and frame rate that gets sent out to all these different, being able to watch it in so many different locations. So racing, I mean, I could run 300 FPS if I really wanted to, but it just doesn't work that way.
Well, that was definitely a quick caution. We are back green already. Brian McCann says that was a comp caution. Okay, so that was a competition caution with 15 laps to go. Now we know.
Oh, 40 shoves his brother.
Oh,
caution comes out, and that's what I was asking, Pete. Would the brothers go at it? Mom, wrap up the fine china because the boys are at it again.
Bull in a china shop activity.
And the 46 just said, I don't think so.
83 is coming up. He's a little upset.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a little upset.
Oh, he's going to turn into him and turn him again. The boys are at it again.
Boys have at it.
It is an all-star race. It doesn't count for anything, but I wonder if penalties could be involved in this.
I doubt it. It's
to me, it makes it more fun.
Short track, yeah, exactly. Yeah, short track heat racing. There you go.
I don't want them to destroy the cars and take out a guy, but I have no problem with somebody coming up and giving somebody a bump.
makes for some challenging TV.
Yeah, I had a league owner tell me, hey, interview those guys when they're doing it. I'm like, you really want me to bring them up into the booth and have them be really mad? He's like, hey, it's entertaining. And I'm like, I'll do it. So I brought one guy up, and he was pretty mad. And there was
46 is actually coming down pit road, Kurt.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to. Wow. I think he just might have got penalized.
Yeah.
Says Chris Smith given EOL.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 83 is going to the back too, so they're going to go ahead and pull both brothers.
Will it be over?
we'll have to see. So that's going to put the 70 of Aaron Smith.
Aaron Smith.
Yep.
Called it, Pete.
Yep. 75 of Benfield. He's up here as well.
I will say this too: the track temp is crazy, 129 in North Wilkesboro, and the outside temp is only 76, which is about what it was yesterday or today, Pete, and it felt amazing. I wish, even the wife said, I wish it could stay this temperature year round. But I mean, 76 is an air temp and 129 on track. That's some hot asphalt.
Yeah, that really is. And I mean, this track very wide open. I mean, if you take a look at all the buildings, I mean, if there was shadowing and all that, this track would be still very much like Pocono. How it's just wide open, no trees, no buildings to give any shade to the fans in the stands. It's just a very, very large open track. This just a very much smaller track.
Yeah, it might have 3 or 4 lanes on there with the dotted lines, but really it's just the bottom 2, maybe the third.
Green.
Well, green flag is back out. 75 of Benfield first on the throttle, and he automatically goes up to the high lane to pick up the 70 of Aaron Smith. Aaron's going to go ahead and try to pull the outside. Can 75 hold him off? Not happening this time. 70 takes the lead.
And Aaron Smith is somebody I said we needed to watch tonight because I have a feeling he was going to be really good. I've watched him in the SRN series. I've watched him in a couple other series. He's a very, very skilled driver. He's very aggressive, but he's very skilled and knows where to put that truck to make it fast. We got another caution out on track.
Yeah, think this one might have something to do with David Brandt. What's that?
The 7.
Yep. Let's see here. There's the 70. Got the 00 underneath. 75 kind of checking up, and it's just moving on up to the outside wall. And 00 and the 7 make contact right there, and 7 goes for a spin. All right, so let's go ahead and bring it back live again. All right, let's see if we can't actually pull Aaron right quick. I don't see him as being available, so never mind.
He usually doesn't join till the end of the race.
Yeah.
He usually has a whole group of spotters and people to work with him in his own channel.
Yeah.
Which I don't necessarily like, but if it's not a rule, it's not a rule.
That's right.
Can't break a rule if it's not a rule. But if it was a rule, guys would bend that thing, so...
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Real NASCAR teams and owners and drivers, they'll bend whatever it takes to get a win.
There you go. So lights top the pace car are still on. Let's see if they go off. Next time by the start stripe. If they do, then we'll go one more circuit and we'll go back green. 13 laps to go, Kurt. Unlucky 13, or is it just a number here?
I think it's a lucky for the 70. I don't think it's lucky for anybody else because I really don't know if anybody can get to Aaron. He's been one of the faster trucks tonight. He just hasn't had the position. Now he's got the clean air in the front. We've said it all night. Clean air is king. 51 was able to challenge earlier. 81's been hovering right there in the top 5. The 2 has been very quick. He just gets stuck in traffic and can't get to the front. So just like the 70, he didn't have the positions. I don't know if he gets there.
I'll tell you what, we
would be coming.
We actually have Chris Wally up in the booth joining us now. Chris, you're starting P number 2. Lights top the pace truck are still on. The 70's been fast, been pretty consistent all night long. Can you get on up there and show the consistent speed that you've got as well?
Yeah, I'm going to definitely have to try to get him on the jump here. Maybe get some momentum coming off. If I let him get away, he's going to be gone. So we're going to try our best right here to at least make it a fight. And see what we can come up with.
All right, buddy.
See a last lap bump and run?
Oh, I would imagine. $100 on the line, so if it's not me, it's going to be somebody. You saw the brothers back there.
Oh, yeah.
All right, buddy. Yeah, the lights top the pace car are out. I'll go ahead and I'll get you back on down in team comms. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
You got it. All right, so again, that was Chris Wally, driver of the 51 to the outside. He's just following the pace car now. He wants to get that great jump. If I'm him, I am listening to everything right now, but more than most, listening to the sound of the motor in that 70. He is literally on his door, coming through turns 3 and 4. 70 on the throttle. 51, not quite able to get the same jump, and he's going to take it. Thought about taking it 3 wide, but he's able to keep that spot by staying in the throttle just a little bit longer. And yeah, here we go.
I don't think the 51 liked that. He checked up in the restart zone and didn't allow the 51 to get the going. 51 tried to time it, and just as he hit the gas pedal, the 70 did not. So rope-a-doped him into that one, and the 70 took off.
Yeah, now the 51's to the outside of the 81. They're going to make contact. 51 just skyward bound. Bouncing out off the track. Sideways up against the fence in the infield. I didn't see any of those fans run, Kurt. I still don't see them moving.
Yeah. And I don't think that fence would be standing either. I think somebody needs to call the airlines or NASA because I think we just had a liftoff.
Yeah, as Byron Jones would say, Chris Wally is the next candidate for the SpaceX program. All right, let's. Man, that was harsh. Let's go ahead and rewind that in real time.
The truck.
Let's go ahead and rewind this here. Go ahead and stop it. Let's go to the rear chase, and let's play this out. This is going to be wicked.
Yeah, make sure you get a cockpit view of this too at some point.
Yeah. Just over and over and over again. All right, we'll go back one more time for cockpit as he is just kind of up against the fence.
He hit that entry point on the wall where they try to come in from the outside.
Yep. Whee! We're flying. All right, now let's go to the cockpit view.
Look, Mom, I'm flying.
All right. This should be interesting. Lift off. Ugh. That's like Michael Waltrip's wreck at Bristol years and years ago where it completely destroyed his car.
It was half of a car ripped in half.
Yeah.
If you have not seen that wreck, go to YouTube and look up Michael Waltrip at Bristol wreck. It's one of the gnarliest wrecks I've ever seen.
All right.
And it wasn't even in a race.
No. Mm-mm.
I think it was qualifying, wasn't it? Or was it practice?
I think it was practice, yeah.
It was disgustingly horrible. And he walked right out of it.
Well, I have a feeling Chris may blame us for that.
I mean, I think he would blame the 70 because the 70 definitely roped him on that restart, which put him back in traffic. And then he tried to go after the 70, which really messed up his line. And he got the train underneath him and then got stuck there with the 75 or the 81 and ran out of room on the outside wall. And that little inlet that comes in from the parking lot, it does not hit well when you hit it.
No, not at all. You bounce off that, and there's literally nowhere to go, so it sent them straight to the infield. That was a hellacious wreck.
Only way to go was up.
That's right.
If there was a ceiling on this place, he'd have hit it.
Yeah, not what is that?
I will say this though: the 70 and Neil Quick going to be on the front row. 46 and 83, with all the problems they've had to go to the back, they're actually going to be sitting P3 and P5 behind each other. So,
Jessica Stubblefield says, I missed a bit and had to back up. Why didn't Stubbs get the invert position at the end of the stage? Jessica,
that I can't answer because it's all jumbled.
Yep. All right, so green flag's back out, and 70 getting a good launch. Spins him just a little bit as it comes across the line. Kurt, 10 laps to go. Last week we saw Neil Quick, and he's going to send the 70 around right in the front of all the traffic. Nobody hits him, but definitely went for a bit of a spin cycle right there. That was pretty wicked. Let's actually see that again.
It's a good recovery for him not to have any contact. Good driving by the other guys with the skills to avoid him. Man, I'm wondering if this is going to give the 2 an EOL. So I think that's going to put the Medford brothers back on the front row.
Wicked shot.
Yeah, there was no lifting.
or if there was, he might have just meant to, just slightly, just a little bit of a shove going into the corner. And these trucks, they've been out here now on how many different heat cycles? Little loose. Nope. 2's getting an EOL straight to the back.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
It's going to reset the field again. 70 going to come down pit road.
Yep.
I don't know what he's going to do down here. I wouldn't think he would put tires on, but as quickly as the laps peel off, these guys, I don't think he would have time to put on all 4.
Nah, I wouldn't imagine. No.
Maybe Wrights. No. I don't know what he did. He might have took some fuel or fixed up some damage. Not sure. But he comes back out on the lead lap, so he's going to be starting dead last, though, and it's going to be a hot one here, Pete. We've got the 7 who's wrecked multiple times tonight in the heat races and in the race we're in now. 46 has massive damage from dumping his brother and then getting some more bumping and banging with the 83. 83 is going to be lined up right behind that 46. So this is going to get interesting as we get closer. And Pete, the pastor must be having some good prayers out there because he's sitting P4 right now on the outside row, and he could luck into this thing.
Yeah, there you see him back there. Just like Jessica Stubblefield asked, it says, I missed a bit, had to go back up. Why didn't Stubbs get the invert position at the end of the stage? Braden Johnson also asking, why didn't Stubbs get the invert position at the end of the stage 1 and 2? Unfortunately, I can't answer that. There is actually a race control running all this. The running order that you see here is obviously just slightly off. So it wasn't.
We know where he finished at the end of stage 2.
I'm not sure. No, I'd have to go back and
I thought
watch.
Byron was in and he's out.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm all confused with it.
Yep. All right, lights top the pace car are on. That little bit of a tag, that little bit of a use of the chrome horn. It means that we are going to go back green with 10 laps remaining. You can see the race admin continually adding 1 lap to it each time to make sure again that caution laps do not count.
There's some damaged trucks up here, Pete. So I'm wondering who's going to be able to make it through here. The 46 has some heavy damage all around the truck. 83 has some damage on the back. 7's got some damage on the back. 75's got damage on both sides. It's looking like a demolition derby out there.
Well, here we go. We're going to go 3 wide for the lead. Kurt, 46, he's got the whole shot. 83 underneath. This is going to be 4 wide almost.
Yeah, 70 trying to do a big run on the outside. Gets it, kind of. But has nowhere to go with it. And the 75 spinning the 7. 83 now under the 46 Pete. Caution out.
Yep, 83. You got the Mefford brothers right back up top again.
It took 8 laps.
let's go back with David Brown. Oh, so the 75 got a shot from the 2, and the 75 couldn't do anything about it. He ended up pushing forward into the back of the 70 and the 7 rather, and the 7 goes for a spin. All right, we are going to introduce one more time Chris Wally. He has a little bit of clarification for us with the race as it sits. Chris? Chris, you got me?
Yeah, y'all got me?
Yep, I got you, sir. All right, so
Sorry about that, fella.
Nope, go right ahead, sir.
Yeah, so we what we did with the stages there, the winner of stage 1 started on the pole, winner of stage 2 was outside pole, and then everybody else was inverted from how, as far as starting stage 3, they were inverted on how they finished stage 2. The last 3 cars being eliminated from the first 2 stages. So we kind of tricked iRacing a little bit on how we were doing things, so I know the scoring was kind of jumbled up there. But yeah, it's been exciting so far. It's going to be fun to see what the Mefford brothers do right here, if one of them actually wins or if they both take each other out. It's been exciting, so I'm sure that my little airborne trick there was kind of entertaining in itself.
Yes,
that
it was.
opening in the wall came quick.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if you came home with a moon rock.
Man, I tell you what, I wasn't exactly sure where I was for a second. I sat there long enough to see that I was in the infield.
Yeah, you were.
That was not the right spot.
There were some fans taking selfies on that fence.
Oh, I bet. So they got a up close and personal shot.
You got some fans out there in chat asking, saying, I missed a bit, had to back up. Why didn't Stubbs get the invert position at the end of the stage? And then Braden Johnson kind of asking the same thing, but stage 1 and stage 2. So a little bit of any info on that?
Yeah, that may have been a little bit of mistracking. Whenever we've got a admin up top that's been helping us. He's been doing a jam up job and doing awesome. I'm asking a little extra from him tonight since iRacing is not counting positions properly. So through that second stage, whenever I was in the lead, it was actually showing me in 10th.
Yep.
So he was having to try to look at that and keep track of everybody. So there was probably just a mishap there, but no harm, no foul.
Absolutely, yeah. The when anytime you're behind the controls, it is probably one of the most thankless jobs. As we go back, green flag racing again. Chris Mefford will be first on the loud pedal. Brandon Mefford, Mike Koch, Aaron Smith, and Neil Quick. Thank you again, Chris Wally. Definitely appreciate the insight, sir.
Thank you.
All right, Kurt.
Stoney Benfield's up here in P3, but he's actually a lap down. So that's why he's up here, because those other guys pitted.
There you go.
Or
right.
EOLs.
Yep. 46 throwing it in underneath the leader. Waiting. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to keep things rolling on my side. 75 going to dive low. 46 in that middle line. They're double wide. Caution's out.
6 and 7, we're banging doors, and there is a massive crash.
Yep. Caution's out. And again, my internet
46 and 70, we're definitely banging.
Let's see. Barbara Pinion says it would be unfair to pray for Stoney to win. LOL.
Oh, that wouldn't be unfair.
It's a divine intervention. All right, come on. Stabilize.
Unless she's saying it's a sin to pray for somebody to win money. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't even know what the purse for the race
beat
is.
The 70 and the $100.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
$100 for the winner. So. But the 70 and the 46 were at it. They were banging doors coming down the front stretch, and it did not make it into the turn 1. 2 going to be involved in that 83 or 46. Sorry, 70. I think the 7 and the 00 also were involved. So there was 4 or 5 cars or 4 or 5 trucks involved in that one.
Gotcha. There we go. Coming back in. Right now it's showing the 7 back here. You see the 75 right ahead. And I believe it's going to be Chris Mefford, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I apologize to everybody out there for the actions of my internet. Trust me, I've 5 technicians and 3 maintenance techs outside my home in the last few weeks, and there's just not much more that they can do. Very, very unfortunate, though. All right, looks like we are coming back. And yeah, it's going to be Brandon Mefford to lead the charge in that 83 Spartan machine.
Situation with a 75.
What's that?
I said I'm surprised they haven't fixed the situation with a 75. He's a lap down, scored, but he's sitting P2 on the track. So I don't know if they just haven't realized, or if they're just letting it go, and however you finish on track, that's your position. Because I'm not seeing anybody else really lap down besides Stoney Benfield, and it's showing Chris Wally 4 laps down, but he's off track. But Benfield's sitting there in P2 in that 75, but he's showing a lap down. I don't know if it's old school rules where the lap down cars still start up here, but usually it was always, to the inside of the leaders. So he's not doing that. They're lining up as if that's his position. So I think what they're doing is just going by what's on track and not what's on the scoring pylons.
Right. Yeah, that could very, very well be. So unfortunately, that also throws us off a little bit. So when when we think we're talking about a driver in P3, he's actually back there in P9 or something like that. So very unfortunate, but we're definitely keeping things rolling.
Just got to go by what we're seeing on track.
That's right.
We got to ignore SDK and ignore sim racing apps, ignore everything. Just go by the trucks on track.
5 trucks remaining. And it looks like, again, the 83 is going to be leading. Neil Quick, P2, Mike Koch, David Brown, and Chris Mefford back to P number 5. Green flag's out. 6 laps to go. 5 at the line. Kurt, let's go.
Mefford gets a great jump. Benfield did not get a good jump, but he is going to stay in P2 in front of Neil Quick. Neil Quick and Mike Koch trying to run down the 75 to get up there, but Brandon, he's got one of the cleaner trucks. The 75's got a semi-clean truck, and then the 2 and the 00 have massive damage along with the 7 and 46.
Yeah, I'm hoping that right now definitely having some internet issues, and I apologize. We've got 4 laps remaining from North Wilkesboro. Again, this is the IROC Challenge Series truck racers, live from North Wilkesboro. Just a few laps remaining. And again, I definitely apologize to everybody. Here we coming back. 83 still leading. Neil Quick, Mike Koch, David Brown, Chris Mefford. I tell you, Neil Quick back here. He's got the 75 in front, but 75's a lap down. He's got to go. That 75's got to pull.
Yeah, I think the 75's actually scored second. It's just a mess up there. But Neil, I mean, he's trying to get by the 75, but the 75's doing a great job holding the bottom. He actually clipped the dirt a little bit on the infield of turn 1 and 2. There's not really a curb there, but you can definitely clip the dirt. And it got him a little loose, which brought him back to Neil, and the 83 has set sail almost by a second already.
Yeah, there's no catching him. We are on the white flag. Brandon Mefford in this number 83 Silverado, up 4 spots from where he originally started. He's going to come across the line and win the All-Star race from North Wilkesboro for the Spartan Transportation IROC Challenge Series. Congratulations, Brandon Mefford. All right, let's go ahead and clear the boards for him. And that way when he comes on back around, he is clean and green to go ahead and light him up. It's all about him tonight. Dial up a little bit of brake buys for some really tight donuts. And man, this guy's absolutely having a ball. Gonna go ahead and pull it right back on the start stripe, grab a picture for himself, and he'll go ahead and shut it down. Big congratulations again to Brandon Mefford on winning not only the All-Star race, but man, that's $100 in his pocket.
He won a heat race and won the finale, so
yeah,
great job by the 83. I think the 46 might have been stalking him a little bit there, coming backwards, and the 83 decided to swing it right and do the donuts, but looked like the 46 might have been coming back around for some payback.
There we go. So Brandon Mefford, Neil Quick, Mike Koch, P3, David Brown, P number 4, Chris Mefford, P5 in the 46, Stoney Benfield, Aaron Smith, Chris Wally, Joshua Funkhauser, Timothy Stubblefield, P10. The rest of the field, Byron Jones, P11, David Trumbley, 12th, Robert Barney, P13, P14 would be Brian McCann, Vincent Short, 15th, Doug Wysocki, 16th, and Gabe Ellison to round out this 17 truck field. One hell of a race. All right, guys, we'll be right back with our top 3 in just a moment. Hopefully, I'll double check, make sure that we're actually still doing post race for the top 3 as we normally do. Don't nobody go nowhere. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back. Thank you very much for sticking with us. We've got our top three. We're going to start off first with the Deuce, talking about Neil Quick. And please don't pay any attention to the graphic on the screen. I know it shows Neil Quick in P number 2, but that is not the way that the cookie's going to crumble this evening. Neil, one hell of a race. We definitely saw that too, making a lot of moves. At one point, we saw you completely shoot the gap. I believe it was back during your heat race. You took them 3, and you got the whole shot, able to move on up. And here you are now, finishing P3 in the main. Walk us through your race and what you got from your perspective, please.
Man, I'm going to tell you, my heart beating was racing all night. I mean, from the heat races on to the stages and trying to advance through to get to the end there, it just, it was a battle. And not everybody like myself, I think we used up everything that we could and what everybody else had too. I mean, it was definitely a battle. I mean, it was a hard race, and getting a grip at this place with the old surface is challenge as always. And just probably some of those incidents were probably just overdriving and getting into the wrong spots, but you had to go to the front. I mean, the way the format was tonight and the way Chris had set it up in the heat race, same thing. You had to go to the front. I mean, if you had a fast time, you started at the back, and because of the inverts and the stages and stuff, you just had to keep your position where you needed to be and be there at the end, and that's all I tried to do.
Kurt?
Neil, we saw some aggressive driving there. You one of the incidents there where you got in a little hot and made contact. Was that just what had to happen to the old school bump and run, give it everything you got and don't worry about it because it's an all-star race, it's not a points nice, everybody can kind of lean on each other, maybe let out a little aggression throughout the first half of the season?
Yeah, it's what it was a little bit. Just drove it in deep and wanted to get to Aaron if I had to and kind of loosen him up a little bit. And I felt like in the middle, maybe he drove it in a little bit higher on the outside and was diming it off to come off the corner better. And I was there, and it was purely a mistake on my part, and I turned him. I apologize to him for that. I don't usually do that, but 2 weeks in a row, contact there at the end of the races. But maybe it's going to change everybody's thoughts on the way I drive. But you know what? It was the All-Star race tonight, and a lot on the table with bragging rights to win. So, but it was pretty wild there at the end.
Neil, definitely got to pass along our congratulations on a great race. Very, very tough track. I believe we're going to Bristol Motor Speedway next week. I'll actually double check the IROC schedule, not only for us, but for everybody else out there as well. Yeah, 200 laps around the last great Coliseum. So, kind of getting in that short track groove. I definitely look forward to seeing you next week. And again, congratulations on the bottom step of the podium here tonight, sir.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate the broadcast, all the admin for the league tonight, and look forward to seeing you guys and racing with everybody next weekend.
There you go. All right,
Thanks,
Kurt,
guys.
You got it. Thank you very much. All right, Kurt, we're going to bring on up the one and only Stoney Benfield. Stoney piloting that number 75 all night long, and talk about one hell of a race, sir.
Oh yeah, man. We had a great truck, and we just needed just a little bit more time. If we had a few more laps, I think maybe we could have really won the thing.
Well, I'll tell you what, Stoney, you had a lot of people out there in chat pulling for you. I mean, Barbara Pinion, I believe there was, where was it? Carrie Brown, if I'm not mistaken. So many out there, just kind of rooting you on. What is it about this track that just suits your driving style?
Well, it's really this track's in the hands of the driver. Of course, we all have the same setup.
Yep.
And really getting through the corners and getting off the corner is probably the most important thing. And our truck was good. I did a lot of practice this week in preparation for this race just to be ready. And I do think all those people that get on, they're members of my church.
Yep, that makes sense.
Not my church, the Lord's church. But I'm a pastor, but I'm a Christian first and foremost. And every interview I get, man, I want to thank God for what Jesus Christ has done for me. And thank you for letting me be a part of this league, and thank you guys for what you're doing.
Well, buddy, you are nicknamed. I don't think I will ever forget the nickname of Faster Pastor. So, great job on this P2, Kurt.
Yes, Tony, we've seen you be a little aggressive tonight compared to some of the other races in the season. We've seen you come through the field. You were pretty much in the top 5 in most of the races you were in tonight with the heat race and then the final. And you come away with this top 2. Is this something maybe we can see you be a little more aggressive in some of these races with Bristol coming next week, another short track?
Yeah, I think so. I've laid back a lot, and I've learned that I'm going to have to be a little bit more aggressive to finish in the top 3 or 4 or even win. So, yeah, and, just I want to thank my sponsor, North Carolina 811, Call Before You Dig. They helped me so I can get some equipment. I just got me one of these butt kicker things that really helps you feel what's going on with the trucks. It really helped me tonight to feel when the rear end was breaking loose. And so, yeah, I'm going to be more aggressive, and I believe we can be in victory lane before it's over with.
There you go. All right. Well, congratulations one more time on this P2. We'll see you next week at the Last Great Coliseum, Bristol Motor Speedway on the docket. Congrats, sir.
Thank you, buddy.
You got it. All right, Kurt, we're going to bring on up the one and only Brandon Medford. You got him, sir.
Yeah, Brandon, at one point in the race, I said, wrap up the fine china because the brothers are at it again. You and your brother went at it. He came back at you. It was just a fun race to watch. I was enjoying watching it. I wish we could see more of that in some of the races, but just a great overall job to come away with the win. You got the heat win, too. Run us through your race.
Yeah, I got, fun race, first of all. Shout out to all the guys here. But, that first whole segment, we all kind of misunderstood the assignment there, but got to start 4th there on the after the invert from qualifying and heat races, and kind of saved my tires, and I got back up to Byron and got by him and kind of set sail there. Truck felt really, really good there at the end of those long runs, so was really excited about that. I thought I had the best truck here. Maybe Brian was better or Aaron there at times, but then that second stage, I just wanted to ride. I knew I got to start on the front row for the last little bit, so I kind of wanted to see what my truck had, see where I could make some runs in case I lost the lead, things like that. So I was just using that second segment as a learning point, and then got to that last stage and led the first 15 laps there. I really hated to see that caution, but we knew it was coming. And then, they're at lap 65. I got into turn 1. Didn't turn down as soon as my brother wanted to, so he got me on the right rear, and apparently he didn't take that too kindly, and he went down into turn 3 and dumped me. So we're really, really close. There's tracks I'm better than him, tracks he's better than me, but for the most part we're very, very equal. So whoever gets out front is going to be probably going to win the race, I'd imagine. But so I got hot, got up there, I wanted to show him my displeasure, and then so he showed it back to me, and I'm sure that was a good time. And we had some choice words over the Discord, and I told him he wasn't going to finish the race in first, or we were both going to wreck. And so got my truck fixed. I went back out there, and those guys wrecking in front of me really helped me out. And I just held on for the lead there, and kind of finished it out and got lucky enough to win.
We saw pretty early that those that were able to get on up front and get the clean air on the hood of their Silverado really had a little bit of an advantage. It's a very, very tight track to begin with. What kind of discipline did it take not to burn up the right front in 5 or 10 or maybe 15 laps if you were fortunate enough to hold it out there that long? What did it take to manage your race?
Yeah, just a lot of patience. So you don't want to burn the right rear up on the corner exit because it's real easy to burn the right rear off. But also, those guys were diving the corner real easy or real hard at the first part of those races, segments. So my idea is I'm just going to back the corner up, going to make my corner drive off, and they're about lap 15 or 16. My truck started coming in. I really loved it after about lap 25. So. Really, it was just don't overdrive the entry to the corner and wear out that right front.
Brandon, you've got the title of All-Star Race winner for season number 6 in the IROC Challenge Series Truckers. Man, big congratulations! I believe tonight's top prize $100, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm sure Mr. Wally or Mr. Reek or the sponsor is going to go ahead and pass that along to you. We're heading to the last great Coliseum, Bristol Motor Speedway, next week. So we're in a short track groove. You think you can go 2 for 2?
It's going to be really tough. These guys are really good there at Bristol. Again, Chris is a master there, so he just won there last night in another league. So he's really good. I had to finish second to him there. I didn't like that, but I'm excited to go to Bristol. Just hope we can keep it clean and have a fun race.
There you go. Kurt, these guys talking about keeping it clean, keeping it green. We saw a lot of contact all night long, but one hell of a race, sir.
Yeah, I thought it was a great race. I hope this gets out there that reaches the fans, and I bet this is going to get 1 million views. So Wally's going to have to up that pay.
There you go. Congratulations one more time, sir. Any quick friends, family, sponsors you want to get out there?
Yeah, shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast. Do a great job. Appreciate that. Special thanks to Brian, Rick, Chris Wally, Neil, all those guys that sponsor this thing, Spartan, R&R. 5-Star Graphics, all those guys that make this thing possible for us. And then, special shout out to all the guys who've showed up every week this year. It's been a really fun season in these trucks, and proud to be a part of that. I'll go ahead and say it, but, thanks to my brother for putting on a show there. He's part of our charity motorsports team, so really proud to be a part of that group. We race for a bunch of causes, and we'll get into that some other day, but thanks to those guys, and then thanks to my family, and thanks to all the viewers that are checking this thing out.
There you go. Well, Kurt, the All-Star race is in the books. We saw some pretty interesting heat races, a little bit of bumping and banging all the way through, and then, of course, straight to the main. No consolation race whatsoever. A little bit of difference in laps, but nonetheless, action all night long.
Absolutely, it was a blast. Can't wait to go to Bristol and see what happens there.
Me neither. All right, so guys and girls, again, big thank you to all of the sponsors here in the IROC Challenge Series. Of course, we got to start off with our buddies over at R&R Racewear. Every week, as you know, R&R Enterprises is an apparel and die-cast company based in Valley Park, Missouri. The company operates in a state-of-the-art facility and employs over 25 people. R&R began as Awesome Collectibles, an 800-square-foot die-cast store in 1995. After a few years, company became a distributor for Action Performance before venturing into the T-shirt and embroidery, t-shirt and embroidery in 2009. Of course, the Hot Dog Stand podcast. If you have any kind of a Roku TV or a Roku streaming device, go on over to the streamer section and look up IROC TV. It's the logo that you see there on the bottom left-hand side. All broadcasts, live and re-airs, are broadcast in stunning 4K. So again, whether it's a league, a club, a community, a POV, or the Hot Dog Stand podcast, you can watch it all in great 4K quality. And then, of course, we're talking about Spartan Transportation. At Spartan Transportation Management, you will find a combined 75 years worth of experience among their logistics specialists. Through their team, you can rest assured that your freight will always be managed safely and with the highest of priority. They are constantly innovating to refine their processes to ensure that you and your customers are given only the highest quality of service. A dedicated logistics specialist will always be readily available 24 hours a day, 365 days a year to provide you with quality, reliable services, never leaving you with unanswered concerns or questions. Through technology, you never have to question if your freight has been picked up, delivered, or billed. They will provide you with full service tracking from start to finish. So again, big thank you to all the sponsors that paid part in this All-Star race from North Wilkesboro. Again, I'll show you all the information one more time for everything that you saw this evening. Thanking one more time Spartan Transportation, R&R Racewear, IROC TV, and 5-Star Graphics. It's been one hell of a race. Thank you very much for coming out, hanging out, chatting it up, keeping me and Kurt company. We will see you again next week when we're talking about the last great Coliseum, Bristol Motor Speedway. Everybody have one hell of a night. Take it easy.